What is up, guys? Zach in here. I'm fresh off the presses with a HUD with a check for me for $7,000. And I'm with Michael. We just JV'd a deal, made $28,000 on an assignment fee. And we're here to break down how we JV'd with Michael, how he got his first wholesaling deal, and how you can do the same thing. Michael, what is up, man?
Good. How are you doing, brother? How you doing today?
I'm blessed, man. So I'm here to talk about this. You know, you're in a market. This was a deal kind of a little north of Tampa,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a region where everyone says, oh, you can't wholesale here. It's too saturated. Nowhere in this area works and it's all difficult. And you got your first deal by JVing with us here. And so what I want to do is really break down your story. So what's your story getting into wholesaling real estate?
Yeah, so I started wholesaling a couple years ago. I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky. I moved down here to Florida about, I would say, almost 8 months ago. Originally, I did go pay the course and did a wholesaling course before. But at the time, man, I was just in a really toxic marriage. My mind space wasn't, I wasn't in the right state of mind. I did have a deal that fell through because the guy that I was working with locally, we found the deal on Marketplace, but then he went back on Marketplace and listed it for more than what we got it under contract. And when the house owner saw that we had posted it on there, he was like, "What are y'all doing? Why is my house listed for more?" It fell through. So, I kind of lost motivation, but then I wanted to start back up because, I got in the right state of mind. I got out of that toxic relationship. I got back with my high school sweetheart and we moved down here to Florida, like I said, about 8 months ago. And she's also an entrepreneur, so she really pushed me and motivated me, and just watching how much time and effort that she was putting into her business, I was like, man, I got to do something. So I was like, I already know a little bit about wholesaling. So I picked back up on your guys' videos and I started watching it and I started following it, and I got back into it. I started pulling the list that you guys always mention on your videos. So I went and pulled some probates. And I know your dad always talks about, that's a good spread that you can make off of probates.
Oh yeah.
So I just started calling, man. I just started cold calling, hand dialing, True People Search. And that's what the crazy thing about this deal was, that I did it all for free. Did everything for free.
You learned from free. You got the skid tracing for free. Got a free list. And I mean, 28 grand on an assignment fee. That's a pretty penny. That's like, for most people, that's like 4 or 5 deals just wrapped into one. But I think the truth is you did the thing that other people weren't willing to do, and that was pulling the probate. And so let's go back here. You pulling the probate list. How many probates did you call before you got this one deal?
I would say it was probably like 20 or 30. 20 or 30, man. And what's crazy is that it was just out of probate court 3 weeks after I called them.
Wow.
And and when I went over there and talked to them and stuff, and they were like, you got this at the right time, because we've already been getting blown up for people trying to buy it. So it was like a perfect storm, man. It just, everything aligned at the right time, and I got in there with them, and it ended up being a really sweet deal, especially for my first one, man. A lot of people say they make 5 or 10, sometimes less than that. But to pull a 28, it's not that it's not unheard of, but it's not like crazy common for your first deal.
No, it's more than I made on my first deal.
Mm-hmm.
But man, you 20 calls in. They always say, luck is basically when opportunity meets preparation, and you were prepared on knowing what to do. So the opportunity arose and you went after it, man. I think a lot of people maybe not watching my content, maybe they didn't know what to do there. So what's the story on this deal? You call them, what's the script? What do they say? How do you get to an appointment? Like, give me the story, man.
Yeah. So basically, I just called them and I was like, hey, I was just, calling about the property at such and such address. I was calling to see if you would be interested in a cash offer. And they said, yeah, that's definitely a possibility. So the next day I went over there and I met with him, and he was telling me that his sister had passed away last year, and that it was now his property as of 3 weeks. Like I said, 3 weeks before I went on the appointment, and I was like, yeah, what? Are you willing to sell it for a cash offer? We'll pay the closing price. I took a tour of the house. I took some pictures. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, let me, what would you like for the property? And I'd run some comps on it before, but it was kind of hard off Zillow because at the time I didn't have prop stream, but I knew that, like talking to your dad, I was telling him about it on one of his videos. I knew that the property had a lot of potential. Fixed up some of the houses in the area that I did see. We're going for like 6 and 7, 700 plus thousand. So I was like, all right. So, we locked it up at 300. I was like, all right, there's still enough money, to be made on the deal. So like literally I went home and, submitted it to you guys. And within 20, I kid you not, within 20 minutes, I had a phone call from someone on your team, and we started talking about the deal, and, we were on the phone for a while. He was saying the same thing. We were running our comps. It was kind of, it's kind of tricky to find some. But then he started blasting it out to your all's buyers, and, we got some hits back pretty fast. But we did have to go back and adjust the price. So he had to call him because, like I said, I work a full-time job. So I'll literally do this part-time. He called him and we got it down a little bit. I think it was at first we wanted to get them down 30,000, but they countered with 20. So we got it down 20,000, and we started blasting it out, man. And within, I would say, like a week, we had it under contract to a cash buyer.
Hey, we negotiated for you, did all this, and unfortunately, some of these deals, especially starting out, maybe if you didn't renegotiate it, you might have not found that deal. Maybe you found the right buyer, but the price would have been too high. So that's something we do. If it is locked up a little too high, we'll renegotiate it. But kind of hands off from there. So that's where it works out. I'm telling you, we're strong in that market, so we can obviously do it. But dude, that's 28 grand. I mean, I know you're doing this part time, but
Right.
are you making 28 grand a month? I'm telling you, dude, it is insane what you can do wholesaling, and it's 20 calls in, and if you just keep going at it like that, dude, it's insane here. So we got our title. We actually use a law service over in Tampa, but I don't know if people can see it. It's maybe I'll just pop it on the screen here, but it's a $28,000 fee. And so the breakdown of it, we got half. We got 14. I paid the guy half that deal, so I got 7 grand here. But you got 14 on it. But what I could tell you is, man, now you got some money. Now you can start going after more deals and going through the whole process. But how'd that feel to get that actual check in your hand and actually, getting that first deal?
Man, it's just so surreal. It really is, because when I first started, I had the analysis paralysis, but then, I started calling, and like you always say, don't be scared to call, or be broke. You choose the fear of cold calling or the fear of being broke. So, I started calling, man. And when I picked up that check, man, it was honestly one of the biggest accomplishments, because, everybody that you talk to about it is skeptic at first. They're like, I don't see how that works. They're skeptical because they don't know a lot about the business. But when you can put that proof of concept and you get that check in your hand, you really feel like you're making an impact in this business, and it's up from here, man. It's just up, up, up. And, eventually within a couple more deals, man, I'm going to be able to get out of my 9-to-5 job, man. That's one of the goals. 2 goals I've always had is moving down to Florida and getting out of my 9-to-5 job.
Dude, I can tell you, I mean, people don't believe you. It's like, I had a legit law escrow company give it to, like, a lawyer right here. I don't want to show too much on this, but like a legit, this is a lawyer signature right here. lawyer signed the check. I already checked it. I already cashed it, but legit lawyer signed it. Like this is as legit as it gets. And I don't want to, you split every deal with you because I think, we're trying to get you on your own there, but like
Right.
that money's going to help you project you into where you're going to be.
Oh yeah.
And it's amazing, man. So what's your future looking like now? Like, where are you going to go forward here to start getting more wholesaling deals?
I definitely want to, try to do some bandit signs and definitely start pulling, like you said, pull 1,000 properties off PropStream, skip trace, and then eventually want to get a dollar, man, and just up my phone calls because obviously doing it hand dialing and then doing all the skip tracing yourself isn't very productive. So now it's time to get the volume going. The more calls I make, if I can make instead of 50 calls a day on my off days, if I can make 200 to 300 calls a day, that's just more volume that I'm building up and putting in my pipeline. And I definitely, after I get another deal or so, I definitely want to look into direct mail. But starting off, I definitely just want to do the bandit signs and then just start getting the volume up and up and up and go from there.
Dude, I love it, man. And, you go here and say, oh, I called 5,000 leads. You called 20 or 30, but you still got it, but you still consistently pull it and it will work. I think the big thing I want everyone to understand is it's not about going out here and grinding it. Like you just got to go, right? And if you decided not to call that person that day or you're too tired, you made an excuse, someone else would have gotten that deal. Mm-hmm. And that person might have gotten a $5,000 deal, not a 28. And so I think it all worked out perfectly and you were prepared for that situation. So
yeah, definitely.
Micheal, that was amazing, man. I can't wait to hear more about your story and more about where you're at in the future. But I did want to highlight you. Amazing JV deal. 28,000 on our first deal is very rare. This isn't the biggest JV deal we've done, but it's pretty up there. So that's why I wanted to go on here, talk to your story. And really, it's a great one because you went from no money at all and spending no money and getting a deal here. So I think it was really cool. What was some of the biggest struggles you had starting out right here that you think you had to overcome for this deal?
Just getting the confidence on appointments, man. When I went on that appointment, it was pretty scary, man. I was sweating bullets going on the appointment, but they were super nice people. And I built that rapport with them throughout the appointment. They were an older couple and I was just, I talked about, their life story and, they're from New York. They moved down here. I was telling him that I moved from Louisville down here. He's a Yankees fan. I'm a Yankees fan. So we just built that rapport, man. And, they were super, super nice people. He showed me around the property, him and his wife. Like I said, they were very, very nice people. And then just at the end of the appointment, man, I was just like, I wanted to lock it up at what he thought it was worth. Obviously, if he would have came in with a higher number, I would have tried to, get him down a little bit. But I still thought at the 300 it was fair, and I wasn't too far off.
Yeah.
Like I said, we did have to go to get a different price, go back, but they were super nice, and your team did a very good job, and I appreciate you guys so much for being able, to get that deal down a little bit. Because, like I said, I was at work, but if I would have done it, I don't know if I would have been able to get them down. So that's why I wanted a JV with you guys, just for the experience. You guys do a phenomenal job, and you give back to the group as well. So it was just a perfect scenario, and I definitely appreciate working with you guys on this deal.
I love it, man. I appreciate you hopping on, working with us, and that's amazing, man. What was your closing line with that seller? Just curious.
Honestly, I can't even remember because I was just like, it was so like surreal that it was just, yeah. I can't put into words like how I was able to go get the proof of concept. And watching the videos, you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this. You doubt yourself, but I don't know if you know who Eric Thomas is, but he has a good quote. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. Mm. And, I look at it as I want to get out of a 9-to-5 job. Most people you talk to, they hate going to a 9-to-5 job. Plus living paycheck to paycheck, man. It's a struggle. It's definitely a struggle. So it was just like, man, this is such motivation for me that I got to do it. And I'm not going to stop until I succeed. And that's what I did, man. I just kept pushing through and pushing through. And all the no's that I got, man, it just ended up leading to a yes. And it was a smooth deal. Everything went smooth. And it'd probably be the easiest deal I ever did, because they were just so, such nice people. And everything just went perfect the whole way through.
Hey, that's where it's at. Now you can start doing some deals by yourself.
Yep.
And hey, man, at maybe 1 out of 5 deals, it's like, this is a toughie, or like, oh, send it over. We can help you out. Like, you got some in the back pocket just in case. So at least you have someone to back you up. And heck, at worst, you can always just have someone looking at the deal. We're always going to help you look at a deal and just help you out. And obviously you got our name on it. We're not someone looking to steal a deal or anything like that. We just want to help people out. And $7,000 check, people usually pay $7,000 for a Zoom once a week. I don't have that, that's what we do. So I really appreciate you did one-on-ones with Rick, right?
Yeah, I did do one-on-one with your dad. Yep.
I'll tell you this. You never did a one-on-one with me. I'd remember you. And you did. Hey, no big deal.
First time we've met.
The one thing I can tell you is, for everyone watching this, the people that actually go on the one-on-ones, their chance of getting a wholesaling deal is exponentially higher than by not doing it. Because I don't know, did he tell you to pull probates? Yeah,
definitely.
Like, if you just do what we say in person, like, we say it because it leads to this, right? And it's amazing, man. So, Micheal, thank you so much, first of all, for actually just listening to what we say. I know it doesn't sound crazy, but yeah, I beg everyone to listen. When I beg people to pull probates, I don't do it to sound crazy. I do it because it leads to life-changing stuff like this.
Yeah. So you guys give out such good information, and it's all free, man. That's what people don't understand, is you guys are taking in so much time out of your day just to give back to the community and back to the group and everybody that's a part of it. And if they would just listen to what you say, just listen to what he says, you will get to where what happened with me. And it could be your first deal. It could be your 10th deal. But if you just follow the steps that you guys lay out, you can get there as well, man. I'm living proof of that. For my first deal, all I did was follow your guys' instructions, man, and it worked out perfectly. And I couldn't thank you enough, and your dad as well.
Appreciate it, man. So, guys, if you have a JV deal, want to send it over, go to sellmypaper.com. Remember, we're not in every market. We're only in the markets we're very strong on. And we're always looking to expand. So sellmypaper.com. Micheal, thank you so much for hopping on. Do you have any parting thoughts for people that are brand new? They want to be like you. They want to get that first deal. What's the one thing you think you can tell them before we hop off here?
You just got to stay consistent. You got to stay consistent and overcome the no's. Don't let the no's get you down. Just keep pushing through. Staying persistent and just keep grinding at it. You will get to where I landed on my first deal. May not be as much, but it's the first deal. That's the best feeling in the world. It literally is. It was amazing to have that check in my hand, knowing how much hard work that I had to put in to get that, knowing that that's more money than I'm going to make in almost half a year, So just stay consistent. That's all I can tell you. Stay consistent and listen to what Rick and Zach say, and you could be in the same position I'm in.
That's it. So, Micheal, thank you so much for hopping on here. Listen to what we got to say, and go to sellmypaper.com. Guys, this is Zach signing out. Thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.